Cancel Toyota. Really? What's good, everybody? It has been a cool minute since I've done a podcast episode. And what better way to do it than to talk about the Pixel 6a? But I kind of talk about the different current deals that there are kind of going on right now. I mean, there's not really too much of the deals just yet. The phone is not even fully released, right? It's only still in pre-order stages, with Team Pixel members getting theirs and being able to unbox theirs. And we'll talk a little bit about the controversy already surrounding this device. It hasn't even been in the hands of just, everyday people that is ordering the phone, and already it's got, this is weird, bad rap, I guess you can say. Welcome in, Latrell. How's it going, buddy? It's been cool to have you on BTech's live stream. If you guys missed that, go ahead and catch the episode, the replay. And you guys can see we even had RJ from CV Tech on that live stream. So yeah, it's been a minute, right? So I don't know. I mean, I can tell you guys, I've just been massively busy. There's like a lot of things that's going on at work. So a lot of changes happening at work. So yeah, definitely. It's been a busy month already so far. And then ending off the month in a very busy month. Oh my God. Why didn't you just text me you're going to call? I'm sorry, babe. I haven't done a podcast in a while. I got to get one done. But yeah, we have my son's birthday coming up here. So I'm super excited for that. He's hitting the big 7. So yeah, kiddos are growing up. Kiddos are growing up pretty quickly. So I got a lot of planning on that, and of course, just kind of trying to get things together. Yeah, so just a lot of things just kind of going on. That's how it is. Don't have a case or a screen protector for my Pixel 6a yet, so I don't even know if I want to touch it. Yeah. Eventually I'll get mine. Well, it'll be a little late to the party, but better late than never. Better late than never. And you know what? Like I've just been watching different people's unboxings already. Even like those who have actually had the phone a week already. So I'm getting ancient. Yeah, I'll be 40 next month. I'm gonna hit the big 40. But yeah, it's really fun to watch different people unbox a video, and unboxing videos, actually not unbox the video, unboxing videos. Just to kind of see the reactions to it. Their first reactions is just insane. So far, I've watched Mike from BTech Reviews watch his unboxing video. I've watched Sneed Mobile Tech unboxing video, Tech Odyssey. I've watched Josh Vergara. I've watched Jay Wills. And I did see the infamous MKBHD video. I was trolling 60 Hertz and calling out MKBHD in my video. Yeah, so I mean, it's strange, right? Just how commercialized it's become, the refresh rate on the display. I can't tell you guys like how many times that I've interacted with somebody on Twitter and they try to make a justified point that they can't accept anything less than 120 hertz or 90 hertz. But it's like, to me, it's like, why? Because you were running fine with 60 hertz before 90 hertz was even a thing. Like, what changes somebody's mind to think that they actually have to have a feature that's touted when a new device comes out? I mean, that is marketing. That is the whole marketing scheme. Can anybody really see that? Does anybody even see it? That's a question. I mean, Yeah, it's just it's crazy to just see like how that is. And I can only imagine Marquez and how he's feeling right now with, the back and forth. You got those that absolutely support what he's saying. You got those that are like trying to point out the obvious. And the obvious in all this is that it's really not that damn important. It's really not. Anyone can feed me a long list of reasons why that a higher refresh rate. What up, Sneed? That a higher refresh rate is needed, and it's absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, my smart ass is going to come back with that same statement that I'm always going to say. And that is, if it's so important now and you can't live with it, how the hell did you deal with it before it was even a thing? Not everything has to be on that level. I mean, this is why we have different tier phones, right? What was it? Last week, I talked about comparing mid-range to 2-year-old flagships, right? And people have their preference. Someone say it's much more smarter to go with a 2-year-old flagship because of one, it being a flagship. It's 2 years old, but it's not, the experience back then wasn't shitty, and it's not shitty right now. So, and that statement holds water. Like, it's true. I have the Pixel 2 XL that I bounce back in between all my devices, and it's pretty old, but it's still kicking. And I have a thorough experience with it. So my point being is that even though there are those who would say go with an older flagship instead of a mid-range, the mid-range exists for a reason. There is a market for them. There is absolutely a market for them. There's absolutely a market for them, and that's why mid-range devices are being built and sold. This is the reason why that different OEMs focus on that, because they know there's a market for them. And they all can't be winners. That I do know. That I do preach. There's going to be some flaws. There's going to be some things wrong. And you know what? Everyone just got their Pixel 6a. Can we let Team Pixel members really play around with them before we start trying to just nail that thing to the cross and crucify it so quickly? And over something as minute as a freaking refresh rate. There are other things to the Pixel 6a that is going to be absolutely amazing. Might I remember help people remember that the A series and the reason why it exists is to bring the Pixel experience in a affordable form factor. This is the reason why that majority of the things that you experience with Google Pixel phones, you'll experience them with the Pixel A series, right? And out of the entire generation of the A series and out of the entire generation of the flagship Pixels, the Pixel 6a is the first to come so close to its big brothers. Okay. Earlier in the podcast with B-Tech Reviews, he literally told me in the beginning of it that he told me don't waste my money. But not that because it was a bad phone. He was telling me that he knows I have the Pixel 6. And he's like, if you're expecting anything different, you're not going to see much of a difference. And that's just because it's not much of a difference from the Pixel 6 Pro. Now, we're not talking about cameras. We're talking about software optimization and the user experience. The biggest key factor in a smartphone. Doesn't matter how much components you put in on paper says it's worth $1 million, but if the user experience is shit, it's not going to be good. And his statement to me wasn't that it wasn't good. His statement to me was that it's very identical to the Pixel 6. That's very close, right? When you look at the Pixel 5a and the Pixel 5, they were very close too. Very close. But not as close as the Pixel 6a and the 6 is, right? Previous to that, the Pixel 4a and the 4a 5G was way off away from the Pixel 4. And that's just because they were already starting to go in that direction of increasing the screen to body ratio to a much more percentage on the screen side and switching up using a hole punch selfie cam. So they were literally changing up the design language already with the 4a and the 4a 5G. So the Pixel 4 pretty much holds the kind of older style with a much more thicker forehead, you can say, but that's just because it houses the Soli sensors that's used for not only the facial unlock that's really good on the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, but also the motion sense that's a feature that's on the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, right? So the 6A, what up, Gene? The 6A is very, very close to the 6. So Mike's recommendations was like, you know, if you don't really need to have it, don't waste your money on it because you have the Pixel 6, right? I have it sitting right here charging. That is very true. But I collect Pixels and Nexus, and so therefore it is something that I do eventually will get that will be on deck and be on hand. The thing that sucks worse about anything else is like, I mean, you know, and I appreciate everybody's opinions. You know, I still get them. You know, maybe one day they'll invite me in. Maybe one day they'll recognize me, or maybe they never will, and that's totally okay. Like, I'm really okay without getting that wonderful email from them that says, "Hey, welcome to the team, and your first phone from us is coming to you." Like, if I never get it, I never get it, and that's totally fine. I mean, I understand, and I appreciate everybody who has hit me up and has told me things like, "Hey, you know what? Like, I don't want anyone bothering any of them or whatever." Like, they'll find me if they want to. They probably already reviewed my channel and probably thought I wasn't a good fit, and I'm totally okay with that. But it sucks too, because when a new Pixel comes out, I get hit with, what are my thoughts on it? And is it, you know, and I have to remind people like, hey, you know what? Like, you got to wait until I get mine. When I get mine, I can give you a definitive answer of what I think about it. All I can do now is just go off of what I'm seeing and kind of, you know, reading people's facial expressions and body language as to how they really feel about the phone. And since Mike from BTech Reviews pretty much like laid it out, that was very similar to the Pixel 6. So everything that I'm saying pretty much is like adapted from my Pixel 6 experience into a Pixel 6a that's not in my hands. And it'll eventually will be, and then I will make my review videos on it and such and give you guys my downright thoughts on it. Until that time, you know, I'm looking at everything as a whole, and if it's that similar to the Pixel 6, that's going to be a very good thing. I thoroughly enjoy the experience I have with the Pixel 6. Yeah, there were problems that other people faced, and I was blessed enough to not have those problems. And I keep saying that because I really didn't have a lot of the problems that people were pointing out online about the Pixel 6 and their experience. But then again, I don't know how those people were using their phones and what they were using it for. You see, everyone's quick to always throw out that there was some sort of issue with the Pixel phone, but they never really got to the core reasons of how they use their Pixel phone that would give us a better understanding of, okay, this is probably why it happened. Or maybe you're overworking the hell out of it. Maybe, you know, the Tensor chip is not capable of what you demand out of your smartphone. Those scenarios are real scenarios. They happen, and we can't overlook that. But we can't also just say that that's the golden standard for everybody else. It's not, you know. And you're going to have a lot of different people that's going to have opinions. And I really do push for people to have their own opinions. Because what's worse than anything is where one well-known person is looked at and everyone wants to adapt their feelings to mirror and match that person's feelings. Like, heaven forbid you have a brain of your own, okay? One man's thoughts is not the final answer for everybody in this market. And I refuse to accept that person's statements on something so little as a refresh rate to kind of have a frown about it. There are lots of good things that the Pixel 6a is going to bring to the table. But one of the biggest things that it does bring to the table is that it is a much more affordable device. The Pixel 6 goes for $599. Sure, you could probably find it used on places like OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, maybe for like $400, and that's a pretty good deal. At a time, just recently, Google dropped the price on both the Pro and the regular 6, making the 6 $499, and then the 6 Pro $699. And even I was just like in shock, and I made a video, and it was WTF Google, like, what is this? You guys dropped the price on the Pixel 6 right before the launch of the Pixel 6a, and I was wondering if that was going to be a hindrance, but I totally forgot that there is a subfamily within the Pixel fan community. So you got the Pixel fan community as a whole. A lot of people that just thoroughly enjoy using Google Pixel phones and they love them just as much as, you know, you have the those who love Apple iPhones. And, you know, that's them, right? And even in the iPhone community, those that love, Apple products and iPhones, there is a subfamily for the SE models, because there are people who tend to like the previous design with the Touch ID versus the current design with Face ID. So by right, Google has a very similar thing. You have the Pixel fans, then you have the Pixel A series fans, those who are just like fully content. And one of the things that I've seen questioned about, or things that people have talked about that, they kind of want an answer to, which is, it's very simple. The answer is right in their face. It's very simple. And that answer to the question, the question is that why are people who are actually buying the Pixel A series and are very hung up on the Pixel A series, why are they super content with the A series? Even some have reported that they've gone to places like Best Buy to play around with the flagships, and they're still super happy with the A series. And that's because there's not a super drastic difference of the user experience between a Pixel A and then the flagship brethren. The Google's whole idea and where they cut corners, where, and thanks for the super chat or the super sticker, Gene. But they cut corners where it makes sense, right? So if they're going to use lesser expensive materials to build the body of the phone, but still build it to be durable and sturdy, by all means, have at it. A smart thing here, and like a lot of people that have spoken about this on different platforms that I circulate in, are going on that, they're still using the same 12.2 megapixel camera. But before that, you had no problem with the camera sensors before, especially with the way that, Google's computational photography has really handled a lot of those photos that people are taking and made them the utmost best that it can. And we got some amazing shots. I'm on Instagram and I follow people that have Google Pixel phones and love to show their photography using Google Pixel phones. I'm talking about not just people here in the United States. I follow people that's out in India, where the Pixels is like really popular out there. There's a person I follow on Instagram who has every Google Pixel phone, such as I almost have them all. He has them all. And he does a lot of different Instagram, IGTV videos based on Google Pixels. And he takes them out. He'll go off into the freaking jungle with these things and get some amazing photos. I mean, that's how dedicated he is. But it shows how good those cameras been. And it's been the same camera sensor since the Google Pixel 2. So the Sony IMX363 sensor that you hear me kind of talk a lot, and the reason why I throw out the actual model number for the camera sensor is so people know what I'm referencing to. This camera sensor has been in my Pixel 2 XL, my Pixel 2, all the way up to the Pixel 5a. It has been the same camera sensor since. Has not changed until the Pixel 6 with the 50 megapixel camera sensor. And some are complaining, well, it's not getting the 50 megapixel camera sensor. Right. They got to make some sort of a sacrifice to continue to give the best Pixel experience as possible and close to the Pixel 6. That is the reason for these cuts. So it didn't get the 50 megapixel camera sensor. It got the 12.2 wide angle camera sensor that has been around for the longest time. It has done a great job with photography. It has done very well. So being with that, the Pixel 6a and what I think about it, it literally falls into a category where it's like, I want this phone. But my reasonings for wanting the Pixel 6a is a bit different. I like my Google Pixel 6. I think it's a freaking, I'm going to steal Sneed's word here, a tremendous phone. But I'm a small person. I'm short. By that meaning that my hands are not big hands, because I would be goofy looking as hell with big hands and a small body. I'm only like 5'4.5", almost 5'5". I'm a very short person. The thing with the Pixel 6 is that it's wide. Its width is where it kind of gives me a little bit of a problem. Now, everybody else who's been unboxing the Pixel 6a has been showing it. One thing has circulated in their dialogue that I've caught, and that is the Pixel 6a is slimmer than the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. And that's going to fit right up my alley because a much more skinnier device, but we're talking about the width from left to right, not the thickness of the phone, will make it much more manageable for me to hold. And this is one of the reasons why that the Pixel 5 is probably one of my favorite phones to use. And that is just because it's a smaller form factor. I don't feel like I'm having to like really grip the phone to be able to hold on to it, and much less stress my fingers. And my hands are worked. I mean, what I do for a living, I crush keys on the keyboard for like 8 hours a day. And you start to feel it in your joints and everything. So holding something that's wide bodied will tend to start to put some pressure on my fingers and kind of hurt. And now just imagine the Pixel 6, I don't want anything to happen to it. So I'm already throwing a case on top of it, which extends the width about a little bit, but it does extend the width. So it makes it a bit more wider. So now I'm trying to hold that. One of the things that I like to use is a pop socket, but even then in this heat, the heat that I have in my city is hot enough to soften that glue that phones will pop off a pop socket. So that's why you don't see them on my phones as much, is because they tend to just lose their grip. And that sucks. That's how hot it is at times here. And I don't want to risk breaking my phone because it dropped because the pop socket released it. And I know there's cases that have them built in, and some of those cases you find on Amazon are just they're not trustworthy. So, might I suggest to people to stop being overly critical on the Pixel 6a and stop hanging off the nuts of one person just because of where they sit in this community of YouTube doesn't mean that their thoughts have to be your thoughts. That man is entitled to his opinion. Let that man rock with his opinion. There are people who respect his opinion. I respect his opinion, but I'm not going to follow his opinion. I'm not going to say it's gospel and tell all my friends here that, it's going to suck because of a 60 hertz refresh. And no, I'm not. I have my own opinion, and I will share my opinion. And that I will leave it at that. Now, there are several ways you can obtain a Pixel 6a if you don't want to go with the full price on that. Also, one of the biggest things that's happening right now is at the Google Store. So if you head to store.google.com, you can trade in a older device. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by it. I'm actually going to pull the page up and just kind of show you guys. So yeah, let's screen share really quickly. And choose that and pop it open. All right. So we're at the Google Store, right? Store.google.com. Pixel 6a is joining the family. Pre-order your Pixel 6a. Get Pixel Buds A series for free. Plus, get up to $300 back with eligible phone trade-in. So there's the key word there that people need to understand. Get up to $300 back. So in this deal, no matter where you slice it, you're paying the $449 plus tax to get the phone shipped to you. Then you have to have an eligible trade-in to get the kickback of $300. Yeah, so I think I threw one in the cart already because I was trying to fiddle around with it. Yeah, so it's $449. If I pay for it today, $449. If I try to finance it, which you could try to finance it from Google themselves, just know this: it is a hard inquiry that's going to hit your Experian credit because that's who they pull from is Experian. Okay, so they pull your FICO score. They're not too concerned about your, TransUnion or your Equifax. They're more concerned with your FICO, which is Experian. Let me see. Let me just remove this out. Just remove it out, and I'll go over. Okay, continue shopping. So we're gonna do the Pixel 6a. So I'll choose that. Wonderful devices. Okay. So let's pre-order it. And we choose the unlock model. You can choose Google Fi if you want. Google Fi and the unlock model are the same phone. So we'll go with the color that I want, chalk, right? And right here it asks you, have a phone to trade in? So trade in with Google Store, get up 300 back with eligible trade in, including iPhone, Samsungs, and Pixels. So it's only iPhones, Samsungs, and Pixels. Oh wait, did I skip? Go back. Let's get back to that point again. Order. Unlocked. Let's do chalk. Start trading. All right, so I'm going to show you guys right now the different ones here. What to expect if you're going to go trade in. So we'll go with, oh, you can trade in LG too, and Motorola. Well, let's go with Google. So I'll start with all of them so you guys can get an idea of what to expect. So we'll go with the Google phone. So we'll try the Pixels first. So let's go with the Pixel XL. And I'm going to appraise it. So the most I can get for it is $50.01, right? But if you choose, yeah, that's for that. So if you choose 32 gig, 32 or 128, it's going to be at that. Your phone turned on? Yes. The screen work properly? Yes. $50. All right. Let's switch it up and go with the Pixel 5a. So if you're going to trade in your Pixel 5a, you get 230 to 300 depending. So if you hit all of them, if it turns on, if there's no cracks, and the screen works properly, $300. So that means that if you buy the phone at $449, you're technically only going to really buy the phone for $149 because you're going to get $300 back. All right, let's go to the Pixel 5. Do the same thing. So the lowest you can get, let's go low. Let's say it doesn't turn on. Oh, not eligible for trade. Okay, let's say it turns on. Let's say, no. So if your screen is cracked, so like if I traded in my Pixel 5, I would get $225 off of it. If my screen was in perfect condition, I would get $300 off. All right, let's go with the 4A 5G. 260 to 300. So the bottom end is going to be 260, right? So if you do, everything is good, it's 300. If there's a crack in the screen, it's 260. I'm going to skip the 4A because the 4A is kind of in the same boat with the 4A 5G. Let's go with the Pixel 2 XL. I'm just curious. With the Pixel 2 XL, they would give me between $50 to $60. So if I had the 128 gig model, it's going to be between $55 to $60. And if everything worked, it's going to be $60 off. No way am I trading in my 2XL for that. So let's go with the Pixel 3. So between $80 to $100. So if you had the 64 gig variant and everything was working fine, and say you chose that, the 64 gig model will give you $85 on the trade. 128 gig model will get you $100 on the trade. So you would only pay $349 for the phone instead of $449. So you get most of the savings, obviously, with the newer Pixel. Let's do it with the Pixel 3a and see what we get on that. Between $295 and $300. Okay, so if everything worked on your Pixel 3a, you can get, so for the Pixel 3a on up, if it's in working condition, no cracks on the screen, you're getting $300. So that's bottom end right there from the 3a on up. I have 2 3as in my drawer. Of course, it won't let you do multiple trade-ins. You can only trade in one device to get the credit. All right, let's go back here. Let's switch it up and go with the iPhone. And if we trade in a iPhone XS, $200 to $300. Now you notice something here. The trade-in list only goes as high as the XS, right? So even like with the XR, you can get between $225 to $300. So if it's yes, the phone turns on, and yes, it's just that. And you chose the 64, if you have the 64 gig variant, you can get $275 off. 128 gets you $290 off, and the 256 gets you $300 off. The limit is at $300. And I think the oldest iPhone that you can go down to. Oh wait, they have the newer ones at the bottom. That's so weird. Oh, they started from newest to oldest. Why did it do that? Ah, start over again. $280 for an iPhone SE 2nd gen. I got free at Metro a month ago. Yeah, I'll show you. If you want me to show you what the trade-in would be, I'll show you what the trade-in would be on that. I'll do iPhone, and I think 2nd gen. All right, let's do that. $247.50 to $300. So we'll choose the lowest base option. So the highest you're going to get for the 64 gig is $285, because if everything works good on it, $285 is what you're getting. $290 for the 128 gig, $300 for the 256 gig. All right, so they are willing, and that's so weird. It like flips around, so it goes down to the iPhone. Why does it always reset? I didn't even reset it. That's absolutely crazy. I wonder why. Let's find out. All right, do Apple. As you'll see how these the iPhone 8 Plus, 7 Plus, 6S, 6 Plus, and then it goes to the iPhone 13 Pro Max. What would it give you for this? This is probably going to piss people off. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. So if you choose a 128, all carriers in perfect condition, they will give you $500 for it. So I'm assuming that's going to make your entire trade-in free, plus probably give you credit. This will probably be a good deal if you choose the Google Fi option, because you can get the phone for free and then have the remainder thrown in. But who's really going to trade in an iPhone 13 Pro Max for it? That is the question. I'm kind of interested in Motorola. What are they taking from Motorola? Let's choose a model. The Razr 5G. Let's go with that. So if everything's in perfect condition, $300 off. iPhones are the only ones that are going to get a higher value. The Motorola One Fusion Plus. Let's see. Only $115 for it, and it's got to be in perfect condition. Because if you have the phone turned on and a crack, not eligible for trade. That's kind of sad. And then the Moto G 5G Plus, it can get you $265 off in good condition or near perfect condition, right? What else do we have here? The Edge, all the way to the E6S, the E7 Plus, the Edge. So wow, what would the E7 Plus fetch you? $265. Wait, why did it go back to that? I chose a different model. I chose the E7 Plus. Oh, so between $275 and $300 for the Moto E7 Plus. So if it's in good condition, it's a whopping $300. Let's try LG and see what they're going to give for LG phones. So the Wing 5G, between $260, $250, and $300. And if you went with the LG Velvet 5G, $100. Wow. What did they give you just for the Velvet? Okay, the LG Velvet, $100. So it doesn't matter if it's 5G or not. It's $100. Let's do the V60 ThinQ 5G. $115. So if you did 124, yes, that's crazy. And it don't matter if it's the 128 or the 256. They're only going to give you $115 for it. That is crazy. The K92 5G. What are they gonna give for this? 115. So LG's pretty much got like the lowest on the trade rate, right? Yeah. Yeah. It is crazy. Some of the price points don't make up, don't match up or anything like that. Some of them do. So it just really depends. Try Pixel 4a. You want to see the Pixel 4a? The Pixel 4a is up to 300. It's right there with the 4a 5G. So, but I'll do it for you. All right, so we'll choose that. We'll choose the regular 4a. Between 262 to 300. So if it turns on and it's a cracked screen, 262.50. If the screen's in good condition, full 300. Yeah, 180 for the S21. No, Samsung's got a good resale value on them, so giving it up for 180 bucks to get a Pixel 6a, no. If I was to give it a fair price, if the phone turned on and the screen was in good condition for an S21, I think it should be right up there with the pricings that we're giving for the newer iPhone. So maybe like 400, 450. Make the phone free if you trade. I would say that. But 180 bucks, that's just way too low to trade in an S21 for a 6A. Like, I like Pixel phones. I really do. But I'm not a stupid idiot. I'm not gonna say, yeah, give up something in value and take less for it just to get a Pixel. Like, no, it's gotta be of equal value as far as what you're trading in. What would your iPhone 5C get you? I don't know. Let's find out. I don't think the 5C was there. I think the lowest on the Apple side was the 6S Plus. Yeah, the 6S Plus is the 6S and the 6S Plus is the lowest. We'll do 6S Plus because I know there's still some floating around there. So between $102.50 to $105. So if everything was good, you would get 105 for the 16, 64, or 128. Doesn't matter which in which variant. That's for the 6 Plus. For the 6S, between 105 and 110, everything works. 110, clear across the board. We'll do the 7. I'll do the 7 because I have like a couple of iPhone 7s. No, they'll only take the 250 gig storage. So if the storage capacity is not 256, they're not going to take it. That's retarded. I have a 128 and a 32. I can see them giving a low value for the 32 gig model. The 128, which is half of the 256. I mean, come on now. Come on, Google. Do you guys really have to be picky on the iPhone 7s? What is it about the iPhone 7 that matters? Let's do an iPhone 8 and see what it fetches you. 252 to 300. So if everything works on it, between 280. So if you do 280 for the 64 gig, 290 for the 128, 300 for the, yeah, that's just crazy. That's crazy on the iPhone 7. Absolutely crazy. Now, there are other options that you can do to get the Pixel 6a. This is through the Google Store. So, yeah, if you went that route, you can, you can get it for a cheaper price. But there are other ways to get it if, you just don't have money to burn like that. One way that I looked up and kind of looked at to get an understanding is something called Klarna. I'm pretty sure you guys seen advertisements on this on social platforms. And literally what they advertise is that you pay it off in 4 payments, right? And that's the one that they usually have you go to. You can finance it through Klarna for a much longer time. But if you happen to finance a Pixel 6a beyond 4 payments, you are going to pay interest on that phone for that loan. But if you're doing it in 4 payments, It's not. So literally, they're going to take $449. They're going to break it into 4 payments. You got to pay your first payment up front to complete the order and get the device, and then over the next 3 months, you're going to make the final 3 payments, and then it's paid off. Now, that is another way that you can go and get it. I didn't see that the Google Store did. I know it does with Best Buy, I think. So you can try. I mean, that's all you can do is try. If that's what you want and intend to do. The other option, and this is for those people who have Visible, because you can do it through Visible also as well. So we'll kind of shop this really quick, see what's up. And I might actually just do it through Visible, but I'm actually gonna pay it though. You use Afterpay? Never heard of it, so I'll probably look into that. All right, let me share my screen again, and I'll show you what I mean about Visible. And this is for those people who don't or can't pay for it up front. And honestly, even those in the replay, don't shit on people that just can't pay $450 up front, right? Like, people got bills to pay in their life. I understand that. And the reason why I'm showing this is because I know some people really wanted to get the 6A and they're kind of holding off on it just because, they got financial bills to take care of. So this will kind of give them an idea. All right, so we'll shop all phones here on the Visible website. I'm not going to log into my account. I like that. Phones for everyone. And we'll just narrow it down to the Google phone. And as you can see, it's coming soon. Now, you can spend $449 to get the phone through Visible at full price, or through Affirm. If you qualify and your credit is decent enough, then you can finance the phone. It'll be $18.71 for 2 years. So you'd be financing the phone for 2 years. Obviously paying it off. If you cancel service with Visible, you're obviously gonna have to pay it off. Or I don't know if they bill it to your Visible bill, or they just bill it as a third-party charge to your debit or credit card. But you can see if you qualify for it. Just know this. I've tried Affirm before. So the first time that you put in any of your information to try to figure out if you'll qualify for Affirm, it will do a soft check. So it won't impact your credit. But when you go through with it, they do another inquiry, which is a hard inquiry, and that will impact your credit score. The Google Store does the same thing too. So, through Google Fi. And that's the other one I'm going to show you guys basically. But I'm not going to show you guys because going into Google Fi, it's going to pull up my account info, and I don't want anyone to see my account info and stuff. But I'll just briefly explain it. So yeah, this is another way you can go through Visible. Now, Visible phones you buy from Visible, they're unlocked. They're not locked to Visible. They're not locked to Verizon. You can use them on anything else. I'm not saying that so somebody can go and buy it and finance it from Visible and then take it to T-Mobile. No, that's not the reason I'm showing you this. So please don't do that. Actually, I didn't even have the screen on for you guys to see. There. Oh my God. It's been a while. So this is what I'm talking about. Let's talk about earlier. This right here. So you can either pay $449 for it, or you can finance it for $18.71 on a 24-month payment through Affirm. That is a company that allows you to finance phones and such from all these places that you buy from. So yeah. So that's through Visible. Let me see if I can just pull some sort of sample up. The way you could do it through Google Fi. So let's see here. Do they have anything that kind of outlines it or talks about it? Let me just type it in directly. I don't think this really like shows a whole lot. Okay, yeah, this kind of does. It has like a little diagram here. How come Invisible has the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro more than the new Pixel 6a? Because regardless that the Pixel 6a is new, the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro is a flagship device. That's just like questioning, why would they have the Samsung Galaxy S22 at a high price, brand new, and let's say, I know they're not making it, but let's say they did make the S22 Fan Edition. Let's say they made that, and that happens to be cheaper. It's because of what it is. The Pixel 6a is a mid-range device. It will never really change. It is a higher mid-range device, very dang close to the Pixel 6. So you can kind of consider it flagship, but in the eyes of Google, it's not a flagship. They will look at the 6 and 6 Pro as a flagship. And many places still sell the 6 and 6 Pro at full value, right? So if you go to T-Mobile and you were to buy it full price with no promotional deal, it would be $599 because it's new. Visible is not selling you used phones, so they're not going to drop the price on it. You won't see a price drop in the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro until after the Pixel 7 comes out. So the next thing has to come out for their prices to drop. That's how the business works. So that's why it's still at full, still costs more. The 6A is a series. It is considered the mid-range or the lower end, since that's just how they look at it. But this right here, just kind of like it just kind of outlines. Well, the website is 9 to 5 Google that talked about it. And this was the very first time they did it. They did it for the Pixel 4a. So if you went through Google Fi, you can actually sign up for the 2-year phone subscription program. And this is actually for just the Pixel A series. So the 4a was the first one to do it. And then when the Pixel 5a came out, they had the 5a replace the 4a. And now, and I can confirm this because I looked on Google Fi, and I actually was trying to get it through Google Fi since I have Google Fi service. But I'll explain that so you guys kind of understand. Basically, what I'll tell you guys why I'm not able to do it through Google Fi. And it's a really kind of ridiculous reason, but then again, I kind of understand them. So I'm just not even going to argue it with them, and I just left it as it is. But with a 2-year subscription, so if you have Google Fi service, you can subscribe to I want to call it the Pixel A 2-year subscription. The reason why I call it that is because of the way that this works, right? So if you can see on the screen here, it says monthly cost, it's $15 a month, right? So it's $9 for the phone, and then an additional $6 for device protection. So that's if you want to get it protected. Now, if you do it with basically, and this is just so weird. Oh, you upgrade every 2 years. That's the benefits of the phone subscription. Phone with just the protection, it's $20.54. So that's if you financed it. And then phone only, if you just financed it, would be $14.54. So it is cheaper to just, well, that was for the Pixel 4a. The pricing is going to be different for the 6a when it comes to phone with protection and just phone only. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because you get all these 3 things here, and it's $15 a month. $9 for the phone is what you're paying monthly, and then you have the $6 a month, and it's optional. You cannot have the device protection and just pay $9 a month for 2 years. But what happens with the subscription plan is that at the end of your payment of your time in that subscription, you will then have the option to either continue using the Pixel A device that you got when you started the subscription, or you can upgrade to the next Pixel A that's coming out. The thing with that is and the big kicker thing here is how much you're actually saving the cost of the phone. Okay, so if you were to do the 2-year Pixel A subscription series on Google Fi, and you can look it up yourselves, it is a $209 savings. So you're gonna, when you're done paying for the phone after 2 years, even though it'll be basically $209 less than $449. And it makes sense though, because you're doing a 2-year contract technically, right? So you're contracting that you're going to make your monthly payments on time. They're contracting that you're getting the phone without having to pay full price for it. And if you default on it, they will charge you the remaining balance. So you're getting perks out of that. So seeing that, you know, it's a 2-year contract, in 2 years, the Pixel 6a would be valued less than $200. So it does make sense that at the end of that 2 years, you're actually only going to be paying about, you know, what, $240 versus paying $449. So that's one way to do it. Now, there are some things that you do need to know about it. And wow, I really suck today at this whole thing. Hold on. Take that off. I thought when I clicked on the page, I thought it launched to show you guys what I was talking about, and here I am referencing things, and it's just like nobody really saw what I was actually looking at. But okay, there, I'll have it on screen. You guys can read it for yourselves if you guys can read it, you know, because it is a small window. So here we go. But that is the Google Fi 2-year subscription. Now, here's the reason why I wasn't able to. Okay. So I've had Google Fi with my main Gmail account. And when I got tired of it, I pretty much canceled service. Okay. I closed the service out. I've had, when I go back to Google Fi, I always tend to just make a new Google account. So because the current account that I have right now is the account that I'm holding on to. I've been holding on to it. I tried to do the 2-year subscription, and I got hit with an error that my credit was already used on a different Google account. I already knew that. And when I chatted with them, they were like, oh, well, you can only use it on the original Google account that you've ever applied for credit through. And I was like, okay, there's no way to, you know, go around that. There's no way, because I can provide my identity. You guys want my driver's license? I can submit that. You guys want to do KIQ, which is key identifying questions that only I would know. This is between me and the credit bureau. And they're like, they can't do it. So that's the reason I wasn't able to do the 2-year subscription on my Google Fi line. So I told the guy, I was like, okay, you know, it's cool. Like, we're just going to go in circles. Because he wanted to avoid getting into an argument with me. So he was just trying to reference me to call Experian. And it's like, I have the Experian app. I track all my credit reports to see where I'm at. And I'm just like, okay. And the reason why I attempted it that way was because, you know, just kind of give people a figure without really going too deep into it. But I'm in mid 700s on my credit score. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I can and will more than likely be approved for something like this. But I would have to do it on a Google account that I had that not only do I not have anymore on Google Fi, but I deleted the Gmail account. So there's no way to recycle a Gmail account and bring it back up. So there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to just say, okay, you know what? Let me close out this Google Fi line and open a Google Fi line on that Gmail account and be able to do it there, because it's gone. Still bringing it back. So I'm not able to ever finance anything through Google Fi ever again, because that account is gone. And the guy saw it too. The guy was like, yeah, you know, you would have been okay. You would have been okay, but you're using a Google account that, you know, you didn't run the credit on in the first place. You ran it on a different Gmail account. So therefore you have to use that account. And it's to protect identity. That's why I'm not going to argue with them about it, because I understand, like, while I do want something, I don't want them to break protocol or make it, you know, a way for other people to steal someone's info and then do some detrimental damage to a person's credit. So if it protects those who would be victims of that, fine. I can take it on the chin. I ain't worried about it. I will eventually get me one in time. After the birthdays pass, probably. I don't know. because I can't say that I won't get it at the end of August, and I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to put it in my girlfriend's head at all whatsoever, but I don't know what she's gonna do. She knows I want the Pixel 6a. She does know I really want it. I don't know if she's gonna go for it or not. I don't want her to, because that's like almost $500. I can find other things to spend on my kids for $500. I'm the type of person that, like, if my kids have things and they're super content with it, and my girlfriend has things and she's super content with it, then I don't mind spending that kind of money on myself. But before I ever spend close to $500 on the phone, I gotta make sure that my kids are good, make sure my girlfriend is good, make sure everything in the family is good, and bills, number one, bills are good. I don't want to be behind on one bill and sacrifice being behind on a bill just to get a phone. That's just not how I work. I don't operate that way. I'm not rolling in dough. I'm not going to sit here on any social platform and try to show off money that I have or don't have or whatever. I'm not that type of person. I just don't do that. Yeah, so that's why I didn't argue with the guy about it. So, but that is, back to point, that is another way that you can get the Google Pixel 6a if your credit is decent and you are willing to use Google Fi service. Then you can get it through the 2-year subscription plan on Google Fi. That's another way you can do it. There is one other way too that I know of, and if there's any more, especially those watching the replay that you know of, feel free to comment so other people can see, because I know there are people who are probably like racing around trying to find the best way to get a Pixel 6a without paying full price. Hey, I'm not judging anybody, but there's one other way too, and that is through Best Buy, but not through Best Buy's credit. So not applying for a Best Buy credit card, but going through what they use called progressive leasing. This is similar to Klarna. This is how you can basically get the phone. And that is how I got the Pixel 6. So literally, yes, it's going to soft pull your credit. It's going to make sure that everything's good. It's going to make sure that, you are getting paid. So you make sure you have direct deposits into your bank account, because they are going to want to see that through Plaid. And when they make their decision, if approved, they're going to approve you with a specific amount. So they'll say like, okay, you know what? We'll approve you for tech purchases at Best Buy at the amount of $5,000, right? So that means you got a $5,000 limit. So you can go get you a Pixel 6a, and then you can go buy you like a new refrigerator for your house or something or whatever, and make monthly payments on it. That is the only other way I know of for someone to be able to get a Pixel 6a without having to pay full price. And it's pretty cool how it does it, because once you get approved, you go to Best Buy, you tell them, hey, yeah, I want to buy the Pixel 6a. The person brings out the phone. You let them know, I'm buying this through progressive leasing. So then that way what they do is they start the initial purchase process by scanning, not QR codes, but what the hell do they call those things? Anyways, the UPC code or something like that. They start scanning it to set up the purchase, right? In layman's terms. Halfway through, before they get to the total and pay, they stop, and they give you a reference number that you have to basically put in with progressive leasing, so that way they can see the purchase that Best Buy is currently in progress with. And then once you make your first payment, because you have to make your first payment up front. So let's say like monthly, you're going to be paying $15. Right? I would say that because I think the Pixel 6 monthly payments was like 25 or 24 or some change. So yeah, say $15, right? So they're gonna probably charge you the $15 plus the initial startup fee. So you're gonna look around maybe about like $45 you're gonna have to pay up front right there. So once you agree to the terms of the leasing option, they're gonna charge your card to $45. Once you're charged the $45, it sends a signal to Best Buy and pays the full $449 plus tax to Best Buy. So you get a receipt, and the receipt shows you $449 plus tax and the full total amount for the Pixel 6a. But now the progressive leasing that's through Best Buy pretty much owns that loan. You can pay it off early if you want to, or you can just continue to make monthly payments. It is a 24-month contract, so it is a 2-year financing term. That is the other way that you can get one through through Progressive Leasing. I think Progressive works with other companies too besides Best Buy, but they work with Best Buy, and that's the only other one I know of. So that will probably save you some cash on getting a Pixel 6a, especially if you really, 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 really got to have one, and you just don't have like near $500 to blow on the phone right away. That'll probably save you some money. So anyways, that's pretty much it, everybody. That's what I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for joining in on the podcast and hanging out with me. If you guys really enjoyed it, smash the like button because it really does help out. And then also, yes, just be understanding that, there's stuff going on. So in the link in the description, there are some social sites you can connect with me on. And I will put the Facebook group page in there too. There is a group page, 63 members strong. So thank you so much to the 63 people that, that have been members. They've been members for a while. I've had the group for like nearly 2 years now, but 63 members in there. Totally cool. And I host audio rooms, which is pretty much like Twitter's Twitter Space. So it's very similar to that. And you just have audio conversations and such and whatnot. And I also do live streams there too as well. This is actually broadcasting to my my tech Facebook page. It's all about tech. And so there's going to be more live streams happening, mostly on Instagram. I'm doing a little bit of focusing on Instagram. So if you guys are following me on Instagram, you guys will see more stuff being posted on there, videos and live streaming and such. And I am actually going to be starting up something new. I have a list. Well, it's not something new. I've done it once, and Sneed was the very first one on it, where I got to pick Sneed's brain to everybody. I'm bringing that back, and I'm going to actually I have a list of different content creators that I'm going to be bringing on, and I'm going to be pretty much interviewing them as to what made them get into the whole tech space, and where are they hoping to get out of it, and what their hopes and dreams are, what types of stuff are they into, and what they got cooking up in the works, just that type of talk show stuff. I'm going to eventually start doing that. But yeah, that's coming on the pike. And like I said, I got about 50 content creators on a list already. So there's even some that I've never communicated with. So those are going to be the hard ones because it's me emailing them or getting in touch with them to say, hey, I got a podcast show. I'd like to have you on as a guest. And yeah, it's just weird, right? So, but I'm going to start doing those, at least like twice a month, right? Because I podcast on Saturdays majority of the time. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you guys again so much for coming in here. And again, don't forget to smash the like button because it does help circulate this, just to reach more people and just to have more fun. I enjoy doing this. So again, shout out to B-Tech Reviews and to CV Tech for the podcast earlier on B-Tech Reviews channel. If you guys missed it, go check it out. Check out the replay. I know Gene was there and Steve was there, so shouts out to them. Carlos was there too as well. Shouts out to him for being there. Appreciate it. And that is it. Y'all take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I gotta go to sleep early tonight because unfortunately I work tomorrow. Sundays. Whew. Slow days at work.